We are Gold Ivy, a health company dedicated to simplifying health and wellness. Tune in as we search to find the deep, real, and raw truth. We're here to talk big, no room for small talk. It is our mission to inspire, seek growth, simplify the action steps, and build confidence.
You decide what works for your daily life and how to transform our lessons into your gold. Are you ready to step into your power? Now is the time. Join us on the fearless pursuit of self-discovery and growth.
This is Ivy Unleashed,
a Gold Ivy production.
If you're a regular listener of the show, or you follow us on social media, you know I, Brooke, just ran my first marathon, and Andrea ran her 22nd state in her goal to run a marathon in every state. How did I go from barely getting out of bed to being able to run 26.2 miles? A customized training plan and coaching with Andrea. With my health concerns, it was important for me to make sure I crossed that finish line safely and confidently.
We are so excited to announce that we are now offering customized training plans. Whether you're wanting to run a 5K, 10K, half, or full marathon, we've got you covered. Get your customized training plan plus coaching to get you race ready and keep you motivated along the way. Prior to receiving your training plan, you will meet with me, Andrea, for a 15-minute call to discuss your goals, race details, and schedule your 3 coaching calls. You will receive a training plan for your race, tailored to your schedule, endurance, and cross-training preferences like yoga, biking, strength, or whatever movement you enjoy.
Coaching throughout your training will provide accountability, safety, and inspiration to keep you pursuing your training and race goals. With Andrea, you will connect your mind and body to maximize your race experience. And if you're looking for a custom training plan without coaching, we're offering that as well. Head over to the shop page on our website, goldivyhealthco.com, to learn more and get you across that finish line. Welcome back to Ivy Unleashed, everyone. We are talking today about a topic that we get a little excited about. We created a whole business around it. And we're going to get into the why, the what, and then leave you with the how. And we are talking about strength training.
Mm-hmm. Yes, having muscle on your body and building it is very important. It's more important than anybody gives it enough credit for. And we want to talk to you about why. Like, why is it so important? And we have a million reasons why. So take what you need to help motivate you and inspire you to pepper it into your week. Mm-hmm. There's so many ways you can do this. There is not one right way to do it. And it really stops people from getting started because they think it needs to look a certain way and be a certain way, and it really doesn't.
Yeah, I think with anything health and wellness related, it's complicated, but it's complicated because of all the different ways you see how to do it. People that have been doing it forever, right? Their training programs are intense and it can be super intimidating. And like any topic on Ivy Unleashed, we are going to break it down into how to get started in a way that makes sense for you and is simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a majority of our audience are women, and the majority of the people intimidated by strength training are women, and we want to change that. We don't want you to feel like this is something that's not for you, because it is for you. It's very important that you make this for you.
Yeah, and also big misconception. I don't want to get bulky. You're not, I promise. You want that toned, lean look. You got to add strength training. You don't have to squat 150 pounds. You can use body weights. We'll get into it. But the more muscle we have, quicker our metabolism is. As women, as we age, we lose muscle mass. And so we're going to get into some of those reasons of why you need to make this a priority, how it's going to benefit you. And like Andrea said, it's going to get some momentum, get some fire under that tush to build that booty and get some muscle all over your body.
Yeah, I love what you said about the bulky thing, because I'm kind of an example of that, where I've used strength training to create muscle, but I'm not interested in squatting 400 pounds. Like, I'm not interested at this point in like going to CrossFit 5 days a week. I'm just not. Right now I'm a mom of 3 and I'm fitting in a lot of body resistance, some free weights, and I like how I look. And my body has changed. But I do think like you don't have to constantly keep building and building to get up to these like heavy weights where, if you do want that bulk, that's awesome, but you're going to need, the heavy weights from a gym or to purchase them for your home. So there is body resistance. You don't even need weights. So we're not talking about like having to use weights. You can definitely just use your body for what we're about to talk about.
Yeah. And that metabolism part that I just mentioned, so many of our clients their goal is to lose weight. They're doing a shit ton of cardio, and what they need to be doing is adding in strength training. We're going to get to the why, but let's first define what is strength training, right? The general definition of strength training is any physical movement in which you use your body weight or equipment, so think dumbbells, resistant bands, to build muscle mass, strength, and endurance. And this is a definition that is from PubMed.gov articles, the National Library of Medicine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so throughout this episode, you're going to be hearing a lot of scientific facts that are all backed up by research. And we're going to also include the links that we use for some of these studies in our blog. So you can go there too if you want to read in more depth some of these studies that we're talking about.
As we refer to strength training, what we mean, like Andrea said, resistance training, weightlifting, body weight exercises, or these resistant band exercises, whether that be you use your dumbbells or you use your body and you're just doing squats, you're doing lunges, you're using your body weight as kind of that weight.
Mm-hmm. And the whole point too, like Brooke and I want to make this easy and simple. Mm-hmm. We want to make this so you feel like you can do this. And a huge part of it is just getting started, right? That's just like the biggest barrier ever. But Brooke and I have created moves so that we can show you what that can look like, right? And you can go to our YouTube channel too to start to see like, okay, they're not using any weights in these videos. What? And, eventually we will have more like advanced videos where there will be weights. So there'll be a variety pack. But the whole idea is just to show you how simple this can be, how you can do these exercises anywhere with just your body weight. And you don't have to remember all these moves. There's nothing that you have to memorize. That's why we're creating it. So it's quick, it's accessible, something for you to take a peek at. And it's important, like the number one thing with strength training is form, because you can injure yourself. You can go too hard, too fast. And that's something that is the first thing that Brooke and I always say, like, let's get you started with some strength training, but we've got to go slow and ease our way in because it is easy to get injured.
And everyone who moves with us, right, does move with Gold Ivy, is at such different levels. So that's why it's important for us to have progressions and regressions, things that people can do even if they have an injury or using their wrist too much for those body weights hurt. So you have alternatives that you can use. And we're going to break down why it's important. And then we have a very exciting announcement at the end of how you can do it in a way that's simple. So be sure to stick around so you don't miss that.
Yes. And the number one thing Brooke and I love talking about and helping women with is
confidence.
Yes. Building your confidence. It's like one of the best ways to do it. It really is. And so, we talk a lot about just what confidence is. It's different for everyone, right? But there is this theme of showing yourself you can, showing yourself you can show up, that you can follow through, that you can do things you've never done before. When you show yourself that you can do that, it does something to you.
You see how strong you are, your power. You own that you have the ability to strengthen yourself. And not only are you strengthening yourself physically, like, yes, you're building muscle, but also mentally, like you're pushing past, you're getting through one more rep that is, you're shaking, but hell yeah, you've done it. In return, you are feeling how strong you are mentally and physically, which is so, so important, especially as women. We're being pulled in a million different directions. And so to have that time to actually work on building your strength.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think there's something about doing something hard physically that helps you mentally know, like, I've done hard things before. Like with marathoning, that's a huge reason why I love it, right? It's just showing yourself, that was tough, that was hard, but I got through it, It's awesome. So telling yourself you can and then following through with that is so important. And so with strength training, you're going to eventually be building on your reps, the amount of sets you do. If you're a visual person, you can write them down and show yourself your progress. That builds confidence for sure. And as Brooks touched on earlier, we do lose our muscle mass as we age. And so it's really important that you challenge your muscles just to maintain what you have. Like, we're not even talking about building. You need to be doing strength training so you keep what you have. Otherwise, you're going to get injured. You're going to reach for something. You're going to bend over, throw out your back. Like things will happen to you. And once you get more into a routine with strength training, you're going to notice how much easier everything is. Everything's easier to open, to pull, to grab, to lift. It's wild. It's so nice. Like I love when my kids are like, can you lift this? I'm like,
hell yeah, I can.
Move over. Let me show you. So yeah, it fosters independence. And I think too, as women, relying on the man to do the heavy lifting, and not that you can't rely on people. I'm not saying that, but it is nice to show yourself that, wow, I am way more capable than I thought I was.
Yeah, absolutely. You also think about pain, right? Not being strong enough to lift the box or undo the jar, but also if you have chronic back pain, are you strengthening your core? What does your core look like? If you have terrible posture, are you strengthening your core? Like these are all ways that you can improve and make your day-to-day tasks so much easier. And living in pain, no one wants to do that, but so many of us are. For me specifically with my health journey, when I started strength training, everything changed. Not only did I feel more confident, I saw my muscles being built and that definition come through, but things were easier. My pain was better. I got excited to wake up and move my body because you see progress. Whether that's how stronger you're getting, the definition you see, or just that promise you make to yourself of, okay, I'm going to the gym. And what's cool about it is there isn't a right way to do it. And so you have so many options, you know, like you can do resistant band, you can do body weight, you can add a dumbbell. All that's important is you alternate muscle groups, but there's so many things out there that you can find what works for you.
So with strength training, it's physical and it's mental, right? And there's so many studies that show that there's mood benefits, right? There's more emotional regulation when you're doing the strength training. You release some endorphins, and we need those endorphins.
Why I just said it was addicting.
Yeah, I'm definitely addicted to it too. But I mean, who doesn't want to be in a more positive mood, right? And so these are things too. I love thinking about those little pockets of time when you're in between meetings and you have 3 minutes. Instead of looking at Instagram, get up out of your chair, do some squats, do some lunges, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, you know, walk to your coffee pot doing walking lunges, or while you wait for something to heat up, or right before you get in the shower. You know, there's so many different opportunities we have to just, when you're getting started, you don't have to get a gym membership. Like, great if you do, awesome. You'll have trainers to help you in classes, and that's wonderful. But sometimes it's not in the cards for you, or it's a barrier. You're like, oh yeah, I will once I get to the gym.
Yeah. It's free is what she's saying. Like you have no excuse to not do it. Whether you don't have money or you don't have time, you can do these things, even if it's 1 minute. Because also what you're doing is you're moving your body. And if you struggle with low energy, low mood, the fastest way to improve that mood and that energy level is to move your body. So do some squats. You're sitting there scrolling on Instagram. You can absolutely take 1 minute and do 3 squats. And you'll immediately feel the endorphins. You'll feel, hell yeah, I just did that. So many benefits.
Yeah. Well, and we'll get a little bit more to like how you'll look better and stuff later, but part of confidence is your self-esteem. And there was a systematic review that studied 754 adults that showed a significant link between strength training and positive body image, including body satisfaction, appearance, and social physique anxiety, which is the perception of judgment from others. Like, can I wear these shorts? Someone's going to think I shouldn't be wearing them. I'm not wearing them. Or, oh, am I going to like get body shamed at the beach if I do the bikini? Like, I'm not quite beach ready, I say in quotations, right? And so it's that self-esteem of, you know, we all deserve to feel good about ourselves, or, you know that I think there's something too where maybe your body isn't in peak form, just had a baby, or it's been a while since you've done anything and you're intimidated about other people's bodies compared to yours. But the whole idea is to start moving it towards what you want. You know, you want to be a little bit more toned, or you want to know that this is going to be part of your life because you want to be the person that lifts,
and you can be. You know, I think stop telling yourself one day or, oh, I could never do that. No one is coming to save you. No one can make the decisions for you. If you want to change, you need to do something. And it doesn't have to be a lot, is what Andrew's trying to say. But by just slowly starting to incorporate strength training into your routine, you're going to feel better about yourself. You are going to have better energy, a better mood, all by doing 10 squats in the morning or whatever it may be.
Yeah. And we are proof, and we know from getting more into this that it does build your confidence.
Not only are people wanting to build confidence, but what we've heard time and time again with our clients is, how do I boost my metabolism? Oh, as I age, my metabolism isn't what it used to be. I just need to figure out how to speed up my metabolism. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your answer. Strength train.
Yes.
It enhances our body composition, our ratio of fat to muscle. And this building muscle is what increases your metabolic rate. So our muscles are more metabolically efficient than fat mass, allowing you to burn more calories at rest. So basically, the more muscle we have, the more calories we're burning by doing nothing, just living.
We've said goodbye to Tums and upgraded our medicine cabinet to a product that's just as effective, but without the unnecessary inactive ingredients like talc, dyes, and genetically modified substances.
As health coaches and my journey with my gut health, quality of products is extremely important to us. We want to know that what we're putting in our body is helping us, not harming us.
We're so excited to introduce you to Wonder Belly, a digestive health company with a clean, better-for-you antacid with sustainable packaging. Just like us, they're on a mission to destigmatize issues around digestive health.
They have 3 different flavors that literally taste like candy. They have watermelon mint, citrus mint, and strawberry milkshake, with my favorite being the strawberry milkshake. Anything carbonated used to really upset my stomach, and I'm so thrilled to say that Wonder Belly has become my new go-to for relief.
Not only is Wonder Belly better for you, it's also better for the planet. They are 100% plastic-free, their aluminum bottle is fully recyclable, and their packaging is recycled and recyclable. Wonder Belly is committed to happier bellies, healthier people, and a cleaner planet. A mission we can without a doubt get behind.
They've been mentioned in Forbes, TechCrunch, Dieline, and more, and now have our full support. We're so certain that you'll love it just as much as we do that we snagged our listeners a 15% off discount code. Go get your hands on Wonder Belly by visiting wonderbelly.com and enter code GOLDEN15 at checkout.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much to start that process of boosting the metabolism when it comes to this. And I love even saying, which I know you basically just said this, but to simplify it a little bit more, and I'm not trying to say cardio versus strength. They're both important, but when you resist doing strength training, I like to say, okay, cardio, you're going to burn calories while you're doing it. Strength training, you're going to burn calories while you're doing it, and then for the next 72 hours. And then on top of that, you're going to, as you're building muscle, continue to burn more at rest too. And so it's like this little secret weapon to boost that metabolism that you don't have to keep resisting anymore.
That's why I said earlier, you want to lose weight, add strength training into your routine, because you are revving up your metabolism. No matter what age you're at too. Like, you can be 60 and strength train. In fact, you should strength train.
Yeah, 100%. And the losing of the muscle mass as we age, like, we've said that before, but it's true. And it's, once you hit your 30s, it's not once you're in your 60s. It is like a steady decline, starting in your 30s. And then based off of, your genetics, who even knows from there, but that's kind of the standard age that it's like, okay, if you're 30, let's get this rolling. Or, in your 20s, start getting a routine going so that you can continue into your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s and on. I think there's all of these self-limiting beliefs about, in our culture, you see the grandpa in the rocking chair. You don't see like the grandpa running, it's like all of these people put these limitations on themselves of, well, now I'm 60, so I can't run anymore. It's bad for your knees. It's like, it absolutely is not. Unless you are in pain and you have a problem, that you need to go get checked out by a physician. Sure. But you don't have to stop running when you're 60 or stop lifting or stop going to the gym. I would encourage actually the opposite.
Because it's our culture's norm, right? Doesn't mean it can't happen. It's just what you see contradicts your belief that, oh, I could do that when I get to a certain age. I also think you don't have to wait. Do it now so that it's easier, like anything. But also, if you don't continue building that muscle or even maintenance, like Andrea said earlier, you can be at any age that you lose your muscle. And then you're more inclined to injury, which we'll get into in a bit. Injury and that pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I do think like with metabolism that it's a very complex thing. Mm-hmm. And so, there's a lot of vitamins and minerals that we need in order for that to happen. Hormones. All kinds of things. But one thing for sure that you can do, you don't know if you're deficient in vitamin D right now, 100%. I don't know. It's summer. Maybe you're not. Like you don't know unless you get your blood taken. But you do know that you're losing muscle.
Yeah.
And you do know that strength training will help you.
Yeah. If you're not strength training, your metabolism will slow down. And like I said earlier, also more prone to injury. When I was running my marathon and I trained and Andrea helped me create a plan, I made sure that I had strength training in there. Not only is variety important so you don't burn out, and there's so many benefits of having different types of workouts like the cardio for your cardiovascular health, but strength training will help prevent injury.
Yeah, so weight-bearing exercises, they put temporary stress on your bones, sending a message to bone-building cells to take action and rebuild bones stronger. So having stronger bones obviously reduces your chance of developing osteoporosis. But, sometimes you just think like, oh, I need calcium milk. That's like what we've been trained as kids.
No.
Like, but strength training will help with that too. And so, you think about all the time. I was just recently with a bunch of parents on a little like weekend getaway, and like 5 different people had like the body tape on their backs. And my cousin Christian, who's like 10 years younger, is like, is this what happens in your 30s? Like all your backs fall apart. And so, thinking about that, with injuries, you can easily turn like anytime somebody throws out their back, think about it. It's like, I've just bent over to grab something. Mm-hmm. And everybody had a different reason for having the tape on their back. So it's like, there can be a million different ways that you injure yourself. You don't have to be training for something, it could just be everyday activities that could, increase your chances of throwing out your back.
Whether you're training for a race and you need to supplement with strength training, or you're just changing your kids' diapers or lifting your toddlers or reaching for something on top of the fridge, strength training will help tremendously.
Mm-hmm. And you kind of touched on core earlier, but core is so important. When I think about injuries, like you hear about back, I would say the most. And so people will be like, oh, strengthen your core. And some of you may think, okay, I know what the core is, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people are kind of confused on what that is. They think it's just their abs, but it's actually an interconnected group of your back, hip, pelvic, glute, abdominal, and diaphragm muscles. So it's a lot of different muscles. And, in our move workouts, that's why, when we say core, we're not just doing sit-ups, right? We're incorporating a ton of back exercises too, and making sure that we're strengthening our hip muscles, all of these things that we just like don't think about, strengthening all of them so you have that firm foundation to prevent the injuries.
Yeah, and that leads into balance. Right? The stronger our core, again, more muscle we have on all of those areas, the better balance we have, because that's our center of gravity. It all starts with a strong core. And also you think about mobility, you think about flexibility, and not to mention it helps with stress management. Mm-hmm. So with Move with Gold Ivy, we have strength training, but a part of that strength training also making sure that you are getting some yoga in there, a lot of Pilates that is so, you wouldn't know because it's all in one. You're connecting the mind, the body, but you're also with that strength training, you're getting those mobility exercises, those yoga postures that are also helping, because as you strength train, you're going to get a little sore.
Yeah. When I think too, it's important when you think about strength training of what instantly comes to mind. Like, do you see some big dude in the gym slamming the weights? Because a lot of people don't realize yoga is strength training. And yoga is like, it's like incorporating a superpower into your routine. It really is. And I love talking about it because it's really underestimated, especially if you're like a really fast runner and you love marathons and stuff. You feel like you're kind of wasting your time training if you're doing yoga. But I found it to be the opposite. And I need to get back to it a little bit more. But when I started incorporating yoga, I ever since then have not had any injuries, knock on wood. And I started running faster. And I think it's that mobility and flexibility, knowing that, you're not as tight, you're more fluid. And then pairing the strength training with too, like, doing resistance training with weights, I was just more powerful. Like, you don't think about strengthening your glutes or butt muscles will power you forward, but it does. Yeah. Your body, uses all of these muscles to help propel you forward. So if you want to run faster, this is going to help a lot too.
Yeah. What you're saying is basically how strength training increases our joint range of motion. Mm-hmm. And that allows for greater mobility and flexibility, that whether you're running a race or walking down the street to your mailbox, it is going to make life so much easier. And all we want is to not be in pain and to be in that flow state where our body is working for us and not against us. And all we have to do is add a little bit of weight, train it a little bit, and it comes back to us tenfold. Mm-hmm. You know, I think it's important to acknowledge that we can talk about mobility and flexibility and the benefits of strength training when it comes to bone health. But a really big reason that people do it is to look better. And when we feel like we look better, internally we do feel better. We're taking care of ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so it is a part of our health. It is our mental health, right? We're showing that we're taking care of ourselves. Mm-hmm. And strength training helps reduce abdominal fat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say whenever I get to the reason why people want to make these changes or start up this routine, lose weight or whatever, there's a lot of different reasons, but two things happen a lot. It's, I just want to look better. I want to feel more comfortable in my clothes. Mm-hmm. And I need to get rid of this belly fat. Like as I get older, it gets even worse. Or I had my kids and, I just cannot get rid of this belly fat. So when I talk to people about reducing belly fat, there's a lot of things we can talk about. Usually it's reducing sugar intake and reducing stress. Those are two big ones. But strength training is the third one. Those are like my three that I go for because that combo is magical. As you incorporate strength training, studies show that you do lose that visceral fat. You're more likely to lose it when you're incorporating strength training. People always think it's cardio. I'll run it off. And that's great. You will burn calories that way. But strength training will provide that added benefit to speed up the process of you losing that belly fat.
Yeah. And a lot of people I talk to, they'll add strength training in and they won't see the scale move. And so they'll stop and they'll be discouraged. And what's important to note is that as you build muscle, you do lose fat. And you will appear leaner, even if the scale doesn't say so. And that's because muscle is more dense than fat, meaning that it takes up less space on your body, pound for pound. Therefore, you will lose inches off your waist, even if you don't see a change on the number of the scale.
Do you even want me to get started talking about the scale?
We think you should all throw your scale away. What is that number giving you?
Right.
Either it's showing you you're having progress and you get excited, or it's telling you that, hey, maybe the water you drank late last night added a pound, but you think, God forbid, it's not working, whatever you're doing.
It makes you think you're a failure.
Yes.
Yeah. I asked a client the other day, she didn't like it. She sat there in silence for a while, but I said, what would happen if scales did not exist and you never got to even look at one ever again? What would happen? Like, what would happen in your life? Like, would there be added benefits or, would it be more positivity or negativity if they were completely gone? And she sat there and sat there and sat there. And she's like, that is a really weird question. And I said, sure, it's a weird question because we're obsessed with the scales.
You're tying your worth into a number. Like, everyone just pause and think about that. Think about how you feel when you step on a scale. Like, does it bring you joy? Like, it's a number. How do you feel? How do your clothes fit? What is your energy? What is your mood like? These are all signs of health, not a damn number on a scale. It is so frustrating because it holds people back. They strength train or they do a yoga class, something that they've never done before, and they feel so good, like they're taking care of themselves, and then they go home and they weigh themselves. And it's stupid. And I don't care if people disagree with me or Andrea, because I know she feels the same. But I just want everyone to think about how you feel is so much more important, because at the end of the day, you're doing this because you want to feel a certain way. We buy things because we want a feeling. Why do you want to lose weight? Because of how you think it'll make you feel when you reach that way.
Yes. And start to think about what that feeling is instead of tying it to that number on the scale. What else do you want to pay attention to? And what we do in our coaching is we shift it into, okay, what do you want your goal to be for the month? Someone will say a number for the scale. And then we will shift the attention from that to, okay, that is fair. And that's completely fine if you have a goal because you want to get under 200 pounds, fair. But what are you going to do that's going to create that? I am here for you losing weight. I want you to feel good in your clothes, and the weight will come if you're focusing on what am I going to do and how do I want to feel. Keep your eye on the prize there. Look at the scale next time you go to the doctor, because they're going to make you check it. don't let that be your benchmark of you making progress. Let yourself showing up consistently, challenging yourself, making progress on building muscle and building your self-esteem. Let that be your driver.
Yeah. What do you want to move towards versus away from? Or you think about the idea of you can't have this, you can't do this because you want to lose, but what are you gaining? What do you want to move towards? Because that's going to drive us way, way more. That motivation is going to be there versus the shame and the guilt around what you can't have. And then you're ruminating on that. So let's focus on what you're moving towards, what you do want. Do you want to feel better in your skin? Do you want to have stronger muscles so that you feel better? And let's focus on that.
And there's nothing wrong with wanting to look better. And there is nothing wrong with wanting to lose weight. I want to clarify that. You are not superficial if you want to rock a bikini and that's all you think about. Let that drive you. Mm-hmm. Get that bikini. Buy it. It's cute on that chick. Mm-hmm. Buy a size and let it drive you. You want to look good for an event? That's a huge motivator for people. There is nothing wrong with wanting to look good. P.S. We all want to look good. We all want that. And there's nothing wrong with saying it and feeling that and letting that help motivate you. It motivates a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Something to note too is people have this certain number in mind that they want to reach. They haven't reached that number since high school, or they don't even remember the last thing they did, right? They think that that bikini body comes at that number, and it doesn't, because if you add strength training and muscle, right, that's going to help you be toned, and that's weight. So just think about how complex that number is on that scale. What all goes into that? Your hormones, your time of the month, your water weight, the muscle on your body. So to let something that complex dictate your every move and your self-worth is just silly. You're setting yourself up for failure.
Right. And to get back to how strength training changes how we look, if you do lose a significant amount of weight, you will kind of have that saggier, baggier look with your skin. And a great way to combat that is strength training, filling that space with some good toned muscle. Mm-hmm. But you can't tone muscle unless you have muscle. And so this is something important to think about too, is you're not just going to automatically get toned. You need to build that base of the muscle and then build from there. And so I think people are like, I just want to get toned. It's like, well, let's first of all just get any type of strength training going and continue to make progress, because you'll get there.
Yeah.
But it takes consistency for sure.
Yeah. And yes, looks, right? We all want to look a certain way, but you think about your health overall and your longevity, and studies show that the fat stored around our abdomen is associated with an increase of chronic diseases. So this is things like heart disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, type 2 diabetes, certain types of cancer. So think about long-term. You want to be there for your kids, for your spouse. You want to be a rockin' 90-year-old, playing cards with the girls. Mm-hmm. It's important to strength train so that you are healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a ton of studies we can go through, and one is related to the health of your heart. You think cardio, heart, but strength training exercises can decrease blood pressure, lower your overall cholesterol, improve blood circulation by strengthening the heart and the blood vessels. And so, a lot of people are on blood pressure medication, cholesterol medication, or it runs in your family. And so for me, I have low HDL, the good cholesterol. So every time I go to the doctor, they're like, okay, are you doing any cardio? Because you should incorporate some cardio. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I get frustrated, right? But I know I need to be extra diligent about what I do. So I already got the cardio thing down. So I have to think about my food choices a bit more. But thinking about avoiding that family history of whatever it may be, whether it's diabetes in your family, high blood pressure, cholesterol issues, you name it, dementia, exercise and strength training helps decrease all of those health risks.
I also think too, people use, it runs in my family as a cop-out of not taking care of themselves. Oh, it's just genetic. I know I'm going to get type 2 diabetes. My mom had it. My dad had it. It just runs in the family. High blood pressure runs in the family. No, you can turn off the genes by the way you move your body, the foods you eat, how you nourish yourself. You can control your health. Just because it runs in the family does not mean it has to be your reality.
Yeah. In church today, my pastor said, be the first.
Yes.
Be the first. Whatever it is that you're interested in, you know, it would benefit your faith, your body, your health, whatever it may be, your relationships, your family's never done it before. It's out of the norm. Like, I can't even tell you, my whole life I've been a black sheep in some capacity. And it's scary to be the first to do something. It is like, oh my gosh, my parents have never strength trained. I don't know what I'm doing. None of my friends do this. It's okay to be the first. You don't even have to tell anybody. Do it in secret. Do it in your bedroom. Do it when your family leaves for the day and you're home working. Like, no one has to watch you do this. You do not have to feel insecure about it, but it will benefit you, your health, your mood, your body, how you look, how you feel. And the studies are endless on this too.
So many studies that shows that strength training can help maintain a healthy body weight, manage your blood sugar levels, type 2 diabetes. High blood sugar levels are also a risk factor for heart disease. Skeletal muscle helps increase insulin sensitivity, also helps reduce blood sugar levels by removing glucose from the blood and sending it to the muscle cells. So as a result, greater muscle mass can help improve blood sugar management.
And we haven't even touched on the brain yet either. Studies also linked to your memory and learning getting improved by incorporating strength training.
So who doesn't want a better memory?
Literally everything you can think of that you could possibly want improved with your internal numbers, strength training will also help that.
For me, it is important that my internal numbers are healthy and in a good range. But because of my health journey, reducing inflammation was my top priority and still is. And strength training is an awesome, awesome way to do that. You are helping improve your blood flow. So you're breaking up those red blood vessels, getting more oxygen and blood flowing, which in return helps reduce inflammation. And the higher inflammation we have, the worse we feel. There's so many things tied into high inflammation, and especially with our culture right now, our processed foods, lack of movement,
Stress.
high stress. Anything we can do to help combat that high inflammation is going to serve us so much. And it doesn't have to be a lot. A little goes a long way, right? Just start. Can be complicated because, like I said earlier, you see all the different programs, all the different ways to do it. But what you should view that as is empowering, that you can find something that fits you.
Yep, 100%. And so now you have all the reasons. You know it's going to build your confidence. You know it's going to boost your metabolism. It's going to prevent injury. You're going to look a hell of a lot better. And it's going to improve your internal numbers and health. And thinking about that, you can take anything that spoke to you to get this started. But when you do get started, it's very important that you do start slow. And like I said before, form is very important. And so if you have never done anything before, make sure you have a mirror by you, or that you're looking at a trainer on, you know, our website, our YouTube, or, you know, if you are going to a different site, make sure that they're a personal trainer. A lot of people will put like their credentials on their sites, but make sure it's a trainer so that they're using proper form so you can follow along with them so that you don't injure yourself. A lot of this is very simple. Start slow, listen to your body, proper form, make sure you're breathing. A lot of times, like especially when we're doing core work, you know, you're tightening your abdomen. And so your tendency is not to breathe. It's very important to make sure you're breathing through this. So another reason to join Move with Gold Ivy, because I'm constantly reminding everyone throughout the workouts, make sure you're breathing, get that thorough breath going right here. And something we haven't touched on too much is, because we're really just making sure this is something you get going. But once you do get going, there is some strategy involved in making sure that you're having some proper rest and recovery. So you could do strength training every day of the week if you wanted, but you need to alternate muscle groups. Our muscles need that day of rest to build and repair. And so making sure that you don't do core 6 days a week, like don't set that goal. It's not even going to be efficient for you.
You're going to hurt. And you're going to do more harm than good. You know, when we are building muscle, it's not in the movements that happens. When we're doing these movements, these exercises, what we're doing is we're tearing down the muscles so that they build back stronger. And that's why rest is so important. We build muscle when we're resting after doing the hard work of tearing them down.
And people will say like, well, how many reps do I know? Like, I don't know how much to do. Should I start with 10? Should I start with 30? Great question. It is a good question because it's new. What I would suggest doing is to do the movement without any weights to start and just get that form accurate, correct, watching, whatever you're watching to mimic. And then if it feels like it's way too easy, it's because it is. But maybe, see if you can do another 10 reps and you're still not tired, then maybe throw some weights in your hands or try a more advanced movement. But there's no wrong way for amount of numbers. I always say, like, just do more than you did before. Did you do 0 yesterday? Try 5. Yeah. It doesn't have to be that complicated. And some people are like, I need to see something. So what I say is get out a notebook and write down how many sit-ups could you do? Muhammad Ali would say, start counting once it hurts. And then that's when he starts. But that's not what I'm saying. I would say once you start to feel like your muscles are fatigued and it's getting kind of hard, do like 5 more. As you ease into this, you can always add more.
Yeah, we always say find your edge. Like go past your edge. What is that point where it hurts like hell? You want to give up. Your mind is giving up for your body. But you could do 1 more.
Yeah. And as you get started, you don't even have to worry about your edge, right? Like just start showing up. You can always build on strength and the amount of reps and sets you do. Just start building that muscle of the habit of doing this. Think of that muscle that you're going to build eventually by showing how you can be consistent first. Like nothing needs to hurt or be too challenging to start because then you'll give up. Yeah. You don't want to, a lot of times people get started and then they're so sore because they jumped into P90X. Like Justin, my husband, he's like, that's it. I'm working out 5 days a week the whole month of December. And he jumps into P90X and he's so sore he can't even move the next day. So that's what I'm talking about, really easing into this so that you can keep showing up.
Yeah. And, you can overdo it. Yeah, we say listen to your body, start slow, but a lot of people, myself included, they like having a program to follow. They like having a professional so they know it's going to give them results, right? It's science-based. That's why we created Move with Gold Ivy, right? No matter where you're at, like I said earlier, you can have options, whether you're beginner, intermediate, advanced, and making sure that you are alternating muscle groups by following that program. We work out, we recommend 4 days a week is kind of our go-to. 30 minutes in the morning with live workouts, but we are also really excited to announce that we are working on an app and a website so you can download it and work out whenever you want, wherever you are. If you don't have weights, you don't need them. You can use your own body as weight.
And it's accountability.
Yes.
Like some people love the live workouts because they're like, you know what? If I don't do it with you, I'm not going to do it. So that's something that we offer too. And so knowing that you have the accountability with that, but we also have an exclusive Facebook group for Move members that we're putting in all kinds of different ideas for like post-workout smoothies or recipes or podcasts we're listening to.
Motivation.
Yes. And it's also accountability, right? Like having that like, oh, they did the workout. Oh, they did that one today. Okay. I'm going to do the replay of that live workout tonight because I didn't get to it this morning. It's not all about being there for the lives. That is nice. So you have the option of doing it whenever you can as well.
So the app isn't ready yet on our website, but you can have access to our library of so many workouts as well as the lives. And so that's ready right now. So you can head over to our website, goldivyhealthco.com/shop, and be sure to follow us on social medias at Gold Ivy Health Co. so that you can keep up to date with our announcements of when the app will be ready. Founders rate, super exciting stuff.
Yes. Yeah. And I also just want to mention with our socials, Brooke and I create a lot of tips throughout your week to help you with ideas of food and movement and strength and mindset and just inspiration. And so if you don't already follow us on, especially TikTok, we post a ton of TikToks and it's meant to make you smile and feel good about yourself and empower you.
Like I said earlier, no one's coming to save you. If you want to make a change, if you want to feel better, you have that choice. The choice is only yours to make, and you absolutely can do something about it, whether it's just hitting a follow button. If that's all you can do right now to gain more information, to feel a little bit motivated, and to feel supported, that's enough. Meet yourself where you're at. One step that you can do today that's going to get you closer to where you want. Like I said, whether that's hitting the follow button, whether that's downloading a free workout.
Yeah, and I just want to remind you that strength training is for everyone. Don't let anybody tell you that because you're a female, you should not do strength training. You will not get bulky from this. Give yourself the opportunity to show yourself how good you can feel. If you have never done this, you have no idea how great you can feel, how confident you can feel that you're doing something that's different and that's challenging and showing up for yourself. You deserve to feel this good.
And you can. It is possible. There's so much research behind it of why this is important. And then you also have us here telling you that we feel this every day. And that's why we're addicted to it. Because it makes us feel so damn good. And we want you to feel that way too. We are inviting you to feel that way with us. You are not alone. And so follow us on social media. Reach out if you want to get started. And you do need a little push. We got you.
All right, should we do our 3 gold stars?
Yep. Number 1, strength train at least twice per week, including upper body, lower body, and core. And be sure to never hit the same muscle group on back-to-back days. We say twice a week because that is what the American Heart Association recommends.
And we would recommend that being your full body strength training twice a week is what they mean by that. So all muscle groups on those 2 days, just to clarify. All right, 2, find a time that works best for you to work out and schedule it into your calendar.
And 3, try a Move with Gold IV strength training workout.
All right. And for your piece of gold, it's actually from an unknown person, but thank you, unknown person, for this beautiful quote. They say, strength doesn't come from what you can do. It comes from overcoming the things you once thought you couldn't. This is Gold Ivy signing off.
Listen to your truth and go chase your gold.